Well, hello tubers. I hope you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy YouTube universe. Today we're going to talk about police corruption and racism. Yes, I know everybody's talking about it, but I got a conservative bent and a foreign bent on how this has happened even to me. Yes, hard to believe. Now I know YouTube doesn't like conservative opinion much, and they de-rank you and bury you down there in the bottom of YouTube, but that's okay. The story's got to be told. It's free speech, and it's not as ugly as you think it is going to be, in spite of the fact that it is a corruption story and a racism story. And before you remind me, yeah, the hair salon's just opened up. I got to get a haircut. My hair's getting a little crazy. Anywho, this story takes place with me, my wife at the time, and it takes place in the Republic of Indonesia on the island of Bali. I believe it was the year 2000, 2001. And Bali's an interesting place, pretty safe overall, I would say. I've even walked the streets of Kuta where they had the bombings and a lot of horrible things happened and people died. So, you know what? I don't let other people win when it comes to people doing bad things. If I want to go somewhere, I don't care what some radical person is going to do to stop me to go there. I'm just going to go, and I'm going to use my wits, and I'm going to come home safe. That's all you can do in life. Don't let the ugly people win. Anywho, I had rented a Jeep, which is always fun in Indonesia because you drive on the other side of the road, like you do in England or New Zealand or Japan. So the first few days are always a bit challenging, but I had the Jeep for at least a week, so I was getting pretty used to it. So myself, another traveler, and my wife at the time, we went to the north shore of Bali, and we did a bit of snorkeling and had a great time in this beautiful little village in the middle of nowhere. Man, noisy planes, what's up with that? So anyway, coming back from the north shore of Bali back to our hotel in Kuta Beach, you know, it's a bit of a drive. It's quite a few hours, and you kind of got to go up through these small mountain paths. And tropical rainstorms are pretty common down in Bali. You know, people were walking on the street with banana leaves as umbrellas. That's what the locals do. It's actually a pretty practical, great idea, actually. Why pay for an umbrella when you can grab a banana leaf? It works and does the same thing. So I put my headlights on because I'm from the Yukon originally, and in the Yukon, even to this day, you have to have your headlights on 24 hours a day for maximum visibility, even during the day. It's one of these laws that actually makes sense because the roads do get dusty in the summer, and people, you know, should be seen better. In fact, even in Canada, all new cars have daytime running lights. You know, many countries have these laws where the cars have to have daytime running lights. Anyway, I got to give you some background information so you understand what happened. So I'm driving this Jeep going back to Kuta, and I got my headlights on during the day because it's torrential rain. You know, there's scooter people and people in other Jeeps. You know, there's a lot of traffic in Bali, and I want everybody to be safe, and the last thing I want to do is injure a local or have a car accident while I'm driving in a third world country. You know, that's just a prudent thing. So I get through the mountain pass, and I'm probably about an hour away from Kuta Beach. I think I'm somewhere south of the Ubud monkey forest, heading down to my hotel in Kuta Beach, and suddenly I get pulled over. Yeah. I get pulled over by an officer from the Indonesian Republic. He's asking me why I'm driving with my headlights on. Of course, being a Canadian, I tell him, hey, where I come from, putting your headlights on during the day is a safety measure. He actually could speak English, so I think he's used to dealing with foreigners. But by the way I was pulled over, I definitely was targeted because of my, wait for it, race. Yes. And or country of origin. Now, of course, we know you can't look at somebody driving by and say, hey, that's a Canadian, that's a Kiwi, that's an Australian, that's an American. You can't do that. But you can definitely tell that they are Caucasian and they are a tourist. Now, third world corruption is something that, we are aware of, especially when you do travel the world. It happens from time to time. I've got the stories, and this is definitely one of them. So the officer proceeds to tell me that this is an offense in the Republic of Indonesia, and that's pretty much his exact words. Driving with my headlights on was an offense in the Republic of Indonesia. So I planned ahead because I knew that these things could go sideways. So I actually had several 100,000 rupiahs hidden in my secret pockets. I think my wife at the time had a whole bunch of rupiahs hidden, and the person traveling with me definitely had some money hidden. And we just kept a certain amount in our front pockets for walking around money, or lunch money, things like that, in case you get rolled. So this is how we dealt with being shaken down, because this officer didn't want to issue a fine. No, he wanted a bribe. As they would say in Mexico, mordida, the bite, That's how it works. I'm not saying I like it, not saying I agree with it. It's just the way it is. So, us three white folks with me driving decide, well, what are we going to do? So I say, hey, let's empty our pockets in front of the officer, of course. Let's see what we got. He wanted 250,000 rupiahs. At the time, I believe it was around 40 Canadian dollars. Don't know what the rupiah to the Canadian dollar or the American dollar is right now. You can look it up. It's a soft currency. Poor countries have pretty soft currencies. Anywho, we start pretending we're pooling our money here, and we come up with around 50,000. I don't know, maybe $8-ish Canadian dollars at the time. And so we've got this pile of money. Because there's all sorts of denominations. It takes a lot of money in small denominations to make 250,000. But we didn't have 250,000, and that was our story, and we were sticking to it. Did we have 250,000? Yeah, we did. We had more than that. But we boned together about 50,000, and we said, hey, we got 50,000. And he said, okay, I take. And I said, but sir, you could follow us to the hotel, and I have more money available there. If you want to follow me to Kuta Beach, I will personally pay you 250,000. No problem. But it's an hour drive back there and an hour back to where he was at. So I don't think he was going to take 2 hours just to shake me down for 250,000 rupiahs. So this pile of 50,000 that we gave him, which was around $8, we handed to him out the window, and he proceeds to shake our hands. Yeah. Friendly corruption, friendly racist targeting of foreigners. Hey, it's the way it goes in some of these countries. It's crazy. It's wrong. Now, my conservative takeaway from this entire story is that Indonesians are not bad people. Not at all. Indonesian police officers are not all bad or corrupt. They're not. Some are. That's it. Just get on with your life. You get shaken down occasionally. You live to tell the story. That's it. But in terms of committing crimes in the Republic of Indonesia, I wasn't committing a crime. I was committing a motor vehicle offense. But would you think for a moment that I would consider committing a crime in Indonesia, like possessing a narcotic, distributing narcotics? No! Are you kidding me? When they come to arrest me, they're going to beat me with a stick. They're going to throw me in a rat-infested prison, and they're probably going to shake me down for bribes for better food while I'm in custody. That's just the way it is. I get it. It's wrong. What can you do? You can't stereotype people, because most people in any country of the world whatever their political persuasion is, they're pretty honest and decent people. You can't say because you are a group X, you are bad. The reality is people are not stereotypes. Not all librarians are the same. Not all police officers are the same. Not all black people are the same. And not all white people are the same either. We're not stereotypes, and we're not hashtags, and we're not cliches. We are just people. And do people screw up from time to time? Yeah. And you hold them accountable. That's all you can do. So that's my international racist police corruption story for today. Hope you liked it. I haven't thought about that in a long time. But, do you hear the crow? There's been a crazy crow living around here he's lost his mind. And he's not protecting his nest. There's just something crazy about this crow. He's just shrieks like all day. It's crazy. He only shuts up when the sun goes down. It's nutty. Anywho, in the meantime, folks, stay safe, keep your wheels in the ground. I'll talk to you soon. Over and out.